Okay, guys. So let's continue. Okay. So then tell me more about studying for the exam. And again, if I didn't prepare you, because that's what I always want to know. So we know that the 127 is off the chain. Oh my gosh. I am so proud of you. I am so, so proud of you. And the next one, the 5-letter exam, is my favorite exam to tutor. It's my favorite exam. It
Avery,
doesn't
let me
have
know. We can take it together.
it's my favorite. It's very clinical. You have to know about the diagnosis and the treatment, but there's maybe a half a research question, and maybe there's not even a lot on there's more diversity, but it's really about knowing your theories, who said what. That's really all it's about. So it is really, really, I love that test. It's you get vignettes and you got to figure out all those other things that are going on. So Lanika, unfortunately, her job needs her. So she cannot give us many hours. So if you haven't done a podcast since you just passed yesterday, reach out to my staff and ask them to do a podcast with me. Okay. Our podcast channel, if you're not sure, if you haven't done one, Lanika's not around anymore. Well, she's barely around. Her job, there's only one counselor there, and now she's like working so much, and she just doesn't have time to give us. So we love her. We love her. We love her. We absolutely love her. Um, but so our podcast channel is where you really kind of tell your story, your personal story. It's our paid membership channel, so it's not only you get me. And did anybody ever join the membership channel? So you get me talking. So just without the background noise, you just get me talking. So that's something that we have. And then our podcast is really stories to help people, just inspirational stories. To say I've taken this test 5, 6, 7, 12, whatever times, or just once. And Dr. Pam is great. We like those even better. But there really is just about sharing your story with others. So thank you very much. And I'm really, really proud of you. I'm so proud of that score. I really, really am. Who else
Dr.
wants to go?
Pam, can I tell you
Yes,
something real quick? Because
of course.
I'm a member of the channel, so it alerts me. And so I passed the test. I took it on September 12th. And then it was just like after that date, you started releasing like boom, 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 like for theories and all this stuff. And I'm like, Dr. Pam, why didn't you do that? But I passed. So it's just like,
Because I decided that I hadn't released lots of content recently, that I just released, we spent so much time doing podcasts that I hadn't released a lot of any material. And I don't think it's fair to pay $19.99 a month for me not to release material. So I do apologize. And we don't control that. YouTube does. So be sure you stop that. Okay. Hello, Deborah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Tell me about your story, girl.
Well, I passed the NCE, obviously round one, but it was July 10th,
Very cool.
um,
Very cool.
7 days before my birthday.
Ah, happy birthday. What a great gift.
Yeah, it was a really great gift. It's definitely been a journey, but I mean, if I just had to bucket it, I mean, I feel like I've been studying for 7 months because I took the exit exam. Um, there were challenges with a lot going on with me in work, which was why I stopped coming for a while.
Okay.
And I had to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's probably a podcast story. But in any case, I literally continue on from the exit exam and just dug into all of the studying I could do. I literally put in the time. I mean, I was eating, drinking, sleeping, dreaming NCE. I mean, I don't know another way to put it. I'm just telling
That's
y'all
what
the
I
truth
want.
for me.
That's what I want. That's what I
I
want. I only
mean,
need 90 days though. I don't need 7 months. I just need 90
yeah.
days.
And I say 7 months because I rolled from studying for the exit exam into um that, in finished that and then went into the NCE, and I couldn't take the NCE right away because there were no dates available.
Ah,
So I
gotcha.
literally had to wait. I want to say it might have been 2 months before I could take the NCE because there were no dates available. And so that's what I mean when I say I felt like I was studying for 7 months. And I'm glad that I did it the way I did do it, because the exit exam was not representative of the NCE.
So do you think it was easier or harder?
Which the exit
The
exam,
CPC. I say that it's harder. That's my thought. I think it's harder than the NCE. Where'd you go to school?
University of Holy Cross.
So I don't know. Did you have
We didn't
the
take we didn't have to take the
CECE?
CPCE. They gave us their own exam. So I
Okay.
don't think it was CPCE, but I believe that, I don't know. I mean, I guess in hindsight, I don't think it was CPCE that we took. And I'm
Okay.
talking for University of Holy Cross, because you and I
Uh-huh.
had that conversation.
Uh-huh.
I was prepared for that, but I don't think it was that, because it was easier than what I was studying from the CPC, those questions and stuff. So I was
Okay.
probably prepared for a CPCE, but when I took the exit exam, I felt when I was it's such a spiritual experience for me, both, to be honest, but I felt me passing while I was taking it in both. The NCE, the NCE was more uncertain, because I think that I was forced to apply more of what I was learning with you than me seeing questions that felt the same. So had it not been for me studying the way I did,
Mhm.
I think the NCE could have tripped me up. And
Gotcha.
I felt I don't know that I felt like I did not feel like I was failing the NCE. I just didn't feel in me the level of certainty I felt when I was going through my exit exam. But when I got
Gotcha.
my score, it was 121. Um, I I don't know. I think I had been so emotionally distraught by the whole everything that I had gone through, that I didn't I felt I would pass, but you just don't know. I just didn't feel I knew. But when I saw the score, I was like, I told the lady at the front desk, I was in shock. I was like, I passed? And she was like, yes, you passed, and you passed very well. And so, but the whole thing was such a deeply spiritual experience for me. And I don't have another way. I was saying to a number of friends of mine, I literally put in the time. I can't say to anybody, oh, it was just easy. That's not my story. I literally put in the time like my life depended on it. I did not want to go back to it. I didn't want to have to revisit it. I just turned 60 this year. I spent 12 years taking care of my mother. This has been long overdue for me. And I also went through board certification as a chaplain, which was hellified. 2.5
Oh,
years of residency and all of that right before I went and completed this program. So for me, it was tears of joy and putting in the time. And I never felt ready when I was putting in the time. I never felt I got this. I always felt like there was something else I needed to study, to the point where one of my professors who was in my corner said, Deb, stop, stop. When you get in this test, now you have to trust God. For me, now you have to just trust that you will pull out what you need when you need it. And I guess I did. So,
I'm
and I
very
studied
proud of you.
every part of material that I could find, from the classes that I couldn't attend that you allowed me to stay in the meetings for,
Mhm.
all the videos you did. I found different ways to study that and retain that. I put in the time. I really put in the time. And I think I learned best because of the way you taught it.
I am
So
so
that's my
proud of you. I
story.
am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. That
Thank
is,
you.
and really, I think that everybody that's in this room, you had to change your life to pass the test. You really had to change the way that you were thinking and living and doing all those other things, because this had to be a priority. If you only want to do it one more time or one time, this has to be your priority.
It really was. I'm not gonna lie, it really
It has
was.
to
It
be.
was
It
my
has to be.
absolute, and
It has to be.
I did not want to come here again. Period. I just did not want to come here again.
We don't want to see you again. Okay. Not all of us. My CFO says, oh, go ahead and spend some more money. I personally don't want to see you again unless it's for another test. Okay. But my CFO will say, well, why don't you sign up and let me? So I make decisions with my heart. So that's why we have a business. So by the way, two of the people in the room now work for me because, we hire from within. So that would be Danita and Sarah. They now are you going to be tutors. We always hire from within. So we like people that have that use our process, that really trust in the way that we do. And all of us are therapists. We're not just tutors. That's why we're called coaches. We're not just tutors. We really, and I don't know about Danita and Sarah yet, but most of you, or many of you, I've had sessions where we didn't study. We just really lifed it. We talked about life. I don't charge you for those at my tutoring rate, at my therapy rate, by the way, just so you know, my therapy rate's a lot higher than a tutoring rate. But Sarah and Danita, can you guys share? First of all, congratulations and thanks for coming aboard. And tell us, what's it feel like to be on this side of the table?
You want to go first, Danita?
You can go.
That is so Sarah. That is so
You
Sarah.
go.
Oh
I
God.
would love for you to go first.
That's fine. So I'm new, but I graduated. Oh wow. I passed the test July 22nd, and I was in Dr. Pam's. Is it the 12-week or 15-week course? And then I also had Coach Lanika, and the 15-week course, like she said, like whole perspective changed to the point that I'm using like stuff that I learned in life, not just the counseling theories, but I was just talking to my mom. My mom said, I thought I was a writer, a note taker. And my mom was like, now listening to Dr. Pam from listening to you, now I'm an auditory learner. I'm like, I know, like I had no idea I was too. So it's little things like you said that make the big difference. And I had to change my perspective and like my thinking too. As a therapist, like I was like, or a counselor, I'm like, dang, I'm always teaching people to self-talk and positive self-talk. But through this test, I'm like, wow, I didn't believe in myself. But with Dr. Pam and the coaching and being just transparent and her saying, no, you can do this, but you got to just change your mindset and things. And I did. So I passed July 22nd. I was writing. I did all the strategies. I ran out of time. I had like 5 minutes left on the test. And I was like, oh, crap. And I had like 20 questions left. But I used even the strategy still like keywords, like what is it asking? And I passed with, I got 100 out of 160 and the passing score was 91. So I didn't care if it was 1 point over. I was thankful.
Yep.
So, and now I said, I wanted to give back to what was given to me, because that's always big for me. So if I can inspire someone to be where I was, where I thought that I couldn't do it, to, now being able to be like, I can, if you set your mind to give it to 3 months and put yourself first. So I believed in it so much that now I want to give back. So I'm a newbie in the tutor and I haven't started yet. I'm still in training, but great team I'm excited. So yeah.
Danita has you have a little one.
No kids.
Oh, that wasn't you. Okay,
No.
never mind. Sorry.
None yet.
Yeah, no, we all look alike. That was
Yes.
Sorry, that was a mean joke. I am proud of you, and I'm proud of you being on our team. How did the test feel?
So it felt like how I remember you told us in our group that you said, it's not going to feel like if you feel like you passed, then you probably failed. And I went through just like that. And I'm like, wait, I don't know what in the world I'm doing. It didn't make sense. Some questions I'm like, okay, yes, that's right. But there were some questions I'm like, I have no idea if I even answered this right or what it was asking me. But I kept taking my time saying what it asked. Like, what was the question asking me? Pulling out keywords, going back to the question to find, what I needed to find, and eliminating the two that just didn't make sense. And then looking for that best answer. And I think like the first 100, I had no idea, but the ones after, I'm like, oh, okay, it's starting to like click. So it was okay. But I went outside during that, after that 100, I said, you got this. Like, it is a reading test. You can do this. Like, I wrote my name like you told me to. I already claimed it, LPCA, Danita Roy, my Bible verse. And I said, God, it's going to have to be you. I've done the work and here's the faith. So, yeah.
I'm so proud. I'm so very proud. So very proud. I just very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
I took my break too, Dr. Pam.
Please,
I I
and
literally,
as you share with other people, take the break. You need
yeah,
it.
I went outside.
Ah,
I went out. I like nature, and I just needed to stand outside in the sun.
Mhm.
And I walked, and then I went outside, and then I came back in, and I followed I like what Danita said too, because I literally, what I really stuck to, even though I wasn't sure the whole time I didn't have a moment where I was like, girl, you got this. This is so easy. I never felt like that. But I followed the process to the letter,
Yeah.
reading the question, going back to the question, ruling out.
Mhm.
I even used my board um, to mark things that I had already eliminated, so that when I went back to those particular questions, I was managing my time.
Mhm.
So I finished the test, but I had time to go just to go through, and I didn't change anything, but just settling myself.
okay,
I
okay.
didn't change a thing. So
Do not change answers. It made sense the
no,
first time. We do
I
not
heard
go
you in
Yeah.
my
back.
head.
We
Don't you
do
dare
Yeah.
not
change
go
them
back.
because
Didn't
No,
do
we
that
your
do
either.
feelings will lie to you. That's what I
that
kept
ding
hearing
ding
you
ding
say.
ding.
Yeah.
They sure will. Anxiety will sneak up on you and kick you in
Yes.
the butt. It will. It will. Very
Dr.
cool.
Pam, can I
Yes,
share this little quote that you said in one of the Saturday groups?
sure.
And that thing stuck with me. And I wrote it down on a sticky. So anytime I was sitting at my desk in my house, I would look at that quote, I would say it, and kept repeating it. You made a quote that this exam does not define if you are a good counselor or not. It just allows you to make more money.
Mhm.
And when you said that, something happened for me spiritually, that my mindset began to change during that process. So I wanted to see, I had to share that because I still hold on to that. And that helped me through that exam as well. That quote.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll try to remember to do that. It's a stupid sheet of paper. I know. I'm sorry. It's really a stupid sheet of paper, and you guys know it's your mom and daddy's fault, right? Because y'all got a high IQs, and you never learned how to study. Most of you have never had to study because school was always easy. And now you've got this major test with 6 years of information on one test, and I still don't know how those notes pop off the page and into your head. I don't understand that process. I don't. I don't. But yes, thank you for sharing that. It is really a sheet of paper, and I teach you test taking skills. Don't you ever say ever again, I suck as a test taker. No, you don't. Sarah?
Yeah, so I had to take the CPCE and the NCE, and so I took the CPCE on July 1st and the NCE on July 15th. And it was my first time, and I only passed my first time because of finding Dr. Pam. I can tell you that right out. And one of the ways I know that is I have been studying the Purple Book, and I have been married to the Purple Book, and then I took a placement exam. Let me see, I did 2 things. I took a placement exam, and then I found Dr. Pam, and I went to one of her Saturday evening sessions, and she asked me a question. And I was like, after I got off, I was so embarrassed. I was like, where did that question come from? I've never seen this question anywhere. I've never even seen anything about that. So my whole reality got so crushed. But I appreciate it. But I was like, what just happened to me? So then I signed up for a 15-week NCE cohort group, and that really, really paid off. I love that. And then I did some individual tutoring, and that really paid off. And I put on Dr. Pam, I kid you not, about 24/7. Everybody loves and hates Dr. Pam in my family and friends. But
They should hate me. They should hate me.
my partner, he has some special words for you, Dr. Pam.
I bet. All right, they're probably 4 letters.
He's not from the US, so he loves hearing how you talk. He's like, what does she mean? So it's been a riot, but yeah, it paid off. So when I started my cohort, the coach said, Dr. Pym says you have to do 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. And that's what I did. I wrote it out, I put it on a mirror, and I did it every day. And I was like, I just never want to do this again. If she says I can do it, then that means if I just do what she said, it's going to work. So every little thing she said and my coaches said, I did it. And so that's why I wanted to then, like Danita was saying, give back. The process worked so well for me on my scores. My scores were like out of like really high.
Sarah,
And
what was your score on the NCE?
it was 138. Yeah. So it was 138. And yeah. And so I was like, I know it works because I'm not coming from a background in this at all. And I had just been coming from like almost dying. I'd almost died. I'd been in the hospital and had a lot of problems. So when I was getting ready, like I didn't even feel like I could really do this right now. And like at the time when I started studying. But then I heard Dr. Pym and she just had so much confidence. And she's like, just, do this process. And so, and then something else that really helped me, I'm the primary caregiver. So I was listening to Miss Deborah, and that really touched my heart because that's true. Like if you are always used to helping other people and you're like the primary caregivers for others, sometimes you just get really accustomed to like putting yourself always last, right? And it's not always a bad thing, right? Sometimes it's just life. It's just life, right? Like it has to be done, and so you'll put yourself last, right? But I'm the primary caregiver for my grandmother. She's almost 100. And so I was like, how am I going to do these 3 hours a day on work and care for her? Excuse me. But yeah, but Dr. Pym, it just really stuck with me because I then was hearing her over and over. She's like, just take this time for yourself. You're worth it. And it's funny. It was I joke about it now with people and some of my students. I'm like, it's funny. Nobody died. Everything worked out fine. Somehow everything worked out, right? I took that time to study to make sure I passed the test. And so, yeah, I'm so thankful, Dr. Pym, for you. I'm like tearing up. I'm sorry. I'm so thankful. It just came after a really rough time for me, like medically. I didn't feel like I could pass. So, yeah. I wouldn't have without Dr. Pym and her program she's developed.
I wrote it for busy women. I really wrote it for busy women, that I needed you to get out of the box that you had to stop what you were doing totally all day, every day and study. I just want to be in your head. I just want to be in your head. If you have to make dinner, if you're at the gym, let me just be in your head. It's really based on neuroscience. We've done a lot of research. I just didn't make it up. But we keep track of numbers. We keep track of how many hours you've spent. What did you do? And I think one of the best things is that we want to hear from our clients. We want to hear if there's something on the test that I didn't teach you. I need to know that. We need to implement that into our program. And elders speak. What I kept hearing from my clients is there were a lot of questions about old people. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? So I for a couple of times, I just couldn't figure it out. And then somebody said something about the word was sing song, talking to them like they're little kids. Like, oh, I know what that is. I teach that for the social work exam. I did not know that was on the NCE exam. So I've implemented that in our study program now because I get feedback from our clients. So when we talked about valence, the goal is it may not be a test question now, but it's probably in the future. It's probably one of those ones that's for testing. So we're going to teach that. So as we do that, then if it's a study question in the future, then we're ready for that. And I hope that's what makes us so great. Even with Brainscape, one of the deals that we set up with them is we're going to change questions every 90 days. So we have a thousand questions in the bank. And we're really going to keep changing questions. Because one of the things with Pocket Prep, there's 500, right? And at some point, you've seen all the questions. So, and we want to update. We want to be, as I learn from you, as we grow, I just want to make sure that we are always teaching the most relevant information. I teach college, so most of the stuff I get in textbooks, but I'm retiring in December. I will not be teaching college anymore. My whole baby, my baby that I've started, we're 10 years old. this is my baby and it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. I'm gonna give my last good years to this baby. Deborah?
Yeah, I was just when you said I kind of lost my thought, but you just said it. God, I can't
I
remember.
talked about elders speak. I talked about
No, it was after
old
that.
people. I learned from my clients.
It'll come back to me.
Okay.
It'll come back to me. Sorry.
Sarah, did Beth reach out to you to tell you that I want to do a podcast with you, not for you to watch, but I want to do a podcast with you? Okay, so yes. Who else? Michelle McDaniel. Okay, wait. Okay, it's not Sergeant Major. I keep saying that because that's where you're going to be. What is it now?
Master Sergeant McDaniel.
Okay, Master Sergeant McDaniel. Just gonna put that out there, girl.
Congratulations, everyone. I am so thrilled to hear everybody's journey. It's a little difference in each story. But I just want to say, just, by the grace of God, I just so happened to find Dr. Pam. Not to say that I was not anxious and my anxiety did not kick my butt, but I was able to maintain. I was able to, just stick with how we were practicing, right? We practice how we fight. So, just taking the time. I did do the accommodations. This was also my third time taking the exam. As I was taking the exam, no, I was not certain that I passed, again, because the anxiety was still there. But definitely having that separate space and additional hours really helped to keep them at bay enough for me to
Did you
get through
know
the
you could get
exam.
accommodations?
I did not.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people just don't know that's an option. And I teach you
Mhm.
that not only just for you, but for your children, for the people that you tutor. My kids had accommodations in college. My last one is in graduate school. And she gets the same thing. She gets double time to take her test. She doesn't have to take her test in the room full of 6,000 people. Okay, it's not that way since COVID, but no, she takes it in the testing center. And I think it's important that everybody knows that mental health is real, anxiety is real,
Yeah.
and please share the word, whether it's about this test or any test or even any time. The ADA does not say any difference between physical or emotional difficulties. So
Mhm.
please share that with every client that you know. Always ask for those accommodations, and don't be embarrassed. Nobody's going to know.
Yeah. And I don't know about anybody else, but when I first joined Dr. Pam class, I wasn't really intrigued by how she wanted me to study.
Mhm.
But after the third time of being called out and not knowing the answers, I know I had to really just throw out everything that I did before, because she had, to remind us, more than once. If I'm honest, she had to remind us more than once. If we knew what we were doing, we would be here. We wouldn't be, in her group, searching for someone to help us. So I really had to let go of, my own pride that I had some idea of what I was doing, because I didn't, and really just listen to what she said. The 3 hours a day, outside of that, meeting with your group during the weeks, and come to class ready to learn, ready to be tested, and it was a success. And just as everybody else, I would not have done it if it wasn't for you, Dr. Pam. And that's genuinely and honestly speaking. Um, Even after I took the exam, I know we met and I was telling you, like, I still don't feel confident in myself. But and just I'm grateful for our group, because we still communicate, we still meet. And I know we had a couple of women that kind of had to fall out because they had some things going on life wise. And we have one that took the exam today and passed.
Oh,
Marquita.
ah!
Yes.
Very
Yep.
cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Are you still teaching
Um,
that group?
I am.
Yeah, So
Yeah.
you're a leader. You're a natural born leader. You're in the military. You're a leader. And you definitely not only it was important for me for you to hear me because you were going to be the leader. And
Mm,
if you keep teaching people the way that you were trying to study, you're going to lead them down the wrong path.
mhm.
So I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so very proud of you. I
Thank
really,
you. We're
really
grateful for
am.
you, Dr. Pam.
I'm proud of you. You're amazing. And I promise you, I'm a nice person in real life. Maybe,
But when it comes to the tutoring part,
I'm
you have
all
a
up in your
different
shit.
hat.
There's a reason. There's a reason. We remember things that are associated with feelings much more often. You can tell me exactly where you were on 9/11. You can tell me exactly where you were when something bad happened. You remember that. That's research. Research says you remember things that are with feelings. And I try not to hurt you on your first group. I try to build a little rapport. But after that, no, I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. That's what I always tell you. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell you that you're ready. And I'll be honest with you, Sarah. I think that's going to be one of the hardest things for you. You are so sweet. You're going to have to learn to say, girl, you don't know this stuff. You can't pass.
Wait. I can testify.
Yeah, because she did me. She did
Yeah,
me.
she
She was
had
like,
me.
"You're not ready."
I had Sarah as well, and oh my gosh, she was a life. I just love Sarah so much, and she really, really helped me. I had 4 sessions with her, and it was like back to back to back to back, and then I had one with you, Dr. Pam, and then I took my exam, and I felt so confident. But Sarah really broke it down to where I could understand it, and with you, Dr. Pam, with the vague questions, and I felt so confident. With you two, and I had no idea, Sarah, that you were going through all this crazy stuff. And you were such a good tutor and you had such a good heart. I mean, I really, really enjoyed both of you, Dr. Pam. You're the one that told me not to retake it as soon as I wanted to, and I didn't. Thank goodness I listened to you because
I have more money than I have self-esteem. I cannot, I don't have enough self-esteem to keep retaking it. I just don't have it. I'll be very honest with you. I don't have it.
I
And
didn't
I
either.
see it. I see what it looks like. And I truly think if you've taken it 3-4 times, you've got PTSD.
Mhm.
You put your time and your effort and all of that in, and then you show up and you don't pass, and you doubt your everything you ever knew. You doubt your self-worth. You doubt, am I in the wrong profession? That's REBT, right? The ABCDE of REBT.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got this irrational belief system that I'm not a good therapist. I'm in the
Yeah.
wrong profession. I should have done something else.
It was tutoring / counseling.
So we're coaches. We coach, but all of us are clinicians. I've been a clinician for 30 years, so we can't help but our clinical side come into play. We that's who we are. That's who we are. That's who we are. But when I step on your toes, it's purposeful.
Yeah.
It's purposeful, and it's not to be mean, but it's to get your attention. Okay, and I'm sorry that your teacher told you the Purple Book was the best. I'm sorry, but that's, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. After you've learned content, go back to the Purple Book. Really, it's great because now you understand it. But taking questions all day, every day is not studying. You've got to learn content.
I used that for the Q&A just to see if I was retaining what I was learning, but I stayed with the Hellwig.
And again, you do questions all day, but not until you know content. Deborah, you had your hand up.
Yeah, you just reminded me though, for the exit exam, I had to study the Purple Book. And then I had to shift because do you know, none of my professors knew about the Hellwig book. And so that was why I had to double down, because everyone was telling me for the exit exam that I had to probably focus on the Purple Book. And And then I had already started with you and then had to put that aside because they didn't even know about the Hellwig book. So then when I passed the exit exam, I was like, okay, now I got to shift back to Hellwig. And thank God I did, because that purple book would have done me no good. Now I had studied it, but it wouldn't have done me any good for the exit. I mean, for the NCE at all.
This is our book. And we've just released, we actually released it last Saturday to the public. And our goal is to get this in every college and not the purple book.
Okay.
Our goal is to make sure that you learn.
I actually want to
here
make that connection for you. You had asked me
not the
about
purple
that a
book.
while ago.
We just want to make sure that you're, and again, the purple book was great during its time. It really was. It was. I'm not saying it's not good material, but the test changed. And he didn't change with the test. He added additional orange version to it, but it didn't change with the test.
Yeah.
I also think he's like 90. You know, he still uses that picture when he was like 40, but I'm pretty sure he's like 90.
Like, yeah.
So just
but I also just wanted to share what I had forgotten before was just I think it was Sarah, but this reality of grief and anxiety for me, which transcended the whole, I mean, I don't know. I took care of my mother a long time, but the seasons I were in were all grief stricken. I was a tennis player professionally, so I don't navigate anxiety very well because you don't have the luxury of being anxious when you're competing. If you are, you play it off. I mean, that's just how I grew up. But my mother's anniversary, my dad's death's anniversary, my dad speaking over me when I was young that I was going to be a counselor, that coming to fruition, ministry, all of those things were weighing heavily on me. And I don't know that I realized it, trying to press through. But I just remember, because I listened to all of your videos in addition to being in your group class, but you said, what did you say on one of those videos? You said, you cannot even find your keys if you are dealing with anxiety. And I don't ever remember feeling anxiety when I was studying, but the reality is that I was carrying a lot of grief and anxiety through all of my study time. So I was putting that pressure on myself when the moment came. But I really think the studying process is what helped me to ground myself going into the NCE exam.
That's called intellectualism. That's a defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
My husband died, and I went back to get my PhD 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
That's intellect. That's a defense mechanism. That's how we cope. That's how we cope.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, for sure. But just that statement about anxiety and me being conscious about my anxiety, and I had been diagnosed with PTSD during all of that and was not aware. I was not aware that I was walking around with some kind of trauma in my body at all. But anyway, so I just wanted to address the anxiety and grief because Sarah raised it, and I don't know what you do with that because you just have to move through your own grief journey. And for me, now even as a counselor and also a child, I mean, grief is so personal. And when you're a caregiver, it is very unique. And so being able to come through all of that, it actually felt like a culmination of I don't know, it was almost like a healing journey at the same time, accomplishing it and coming to the other side of it. And so that's it's hard to put into words, but I really think that there were at least 4 people that had graduated from University of Holy Cross that's how I found out about you. They passed the first time with you. And so I just immediately decided I was going to do that from the very beginning. I was going to do that for myself from the very beginning. I wasn't going to just rely on me. I was going to rely on other resources that I might
You
need.
realize that you just use theory. It's Kubler-Ross. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Her
Mhm.
new theory says we don't always get to acceptance. Some people still die in anger, but you just use theory.
Mhm.
You do again, you do it all the time. That's just the
Yeah.
theory that it belongs to.
Yeah.
Sarah?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Deborah. That was so beautifully spoken. Thank you. And then I'm going to go back to Kelsey. I want to give her a shout out. She was like the perfect student to have for a beginner coach. I told her, it's like, Kelsey, I need to clone several students like you. So I want to give her a shout out for being such a great student. She was so patient with me. But yeah, thanks, Kelsey.
Kelsey,
And
did you
then-
know that she was a new coach?
You had told me, Dr. Kim, because you were like, as I was telling you how much I loved her, and you're like, she was sitting in your spot 4 weeks ago. And so that was just, it blew my mind. I didn't know what her score was, but that didn't matter. But I mean, that really helped me thinking, well, she was in my situation. She was sitting here, I'm going to listen to everything she says and do everything that she wants me to do. And so, yeah, we had a good time, and I also learned a lot. Deborah, I did not know the Hellwig book at all. I did not know about it till Dr. Pam. And I ordered it on eBay. And it looked like somebody had ran over it with the tires. And I read that book like crazy. And it helped so much. And the test in the back of it really, really helped.
Yeah, I did that too. There are like there are like multiple PhD students from my university that have not been able to pass the NCE.
I'm here.
I know. I keep telling
I'm
you.
here. I'm here. Devin, you just joined us. How are you?
Hi everybody. I'm so sorry I'm late. Our hours are supposed to be 9 to 5 on Friday, but somehow somebody got that 5 slot. So I was trying to get through their session and get to you
Excuse
guys.
me. You know that I always show up on time.
Hi.
I
How
run
are
on
you?
CP time, okay? I'm a college professor. You have to wait 15 minutes before you can leave, okay?
Yes,
So that
yes.
is my society has reinforced my behavior.
Good.
But I will give you all your time when you're with me.
Yes.
I'll give you all of me when you're with me. But girl, I ain't never been on time for a session. Okay, so let's just be honest. Okay, so what was your test date?
So I did my test back in June. I was
Okay.
fortunate enough to talk with Dr. Pam on her podcast. Back in, when did we do that? I think July we did that interview.
Of course I remember. Not.
Of course you remember.
I tutor about 100 people every week. Every week. So yeah, I remember. I teach college. By the way, being a college professor is the easiest job you'll ever get. Just put that out there. It's a list of the easiest job. You teach the same thing over and over and over again. And it's my 15th year of teaching. I'm leaving in December. But I see clients. I start at 10 o'clock in the morning and I go to usually 10 o'clock at night. I get an hour for lunch and an hour to drive home. And that's usually my schedule. And I'll be honest with you, we raised the prices for me because we thought, okay, maybe they'll go see our other tutors. Go see our other tutors. They're great. They're great. They're great. We still want to be on my schedule. So it'll be fun when I retire. But most definitely, I am so glad that you did the podcast with me.
Yeah, so my test date, I passed back in June. So I've been elated and now I'm officially working for a company. And I'm up to 36 clients. I haven't seen them all yet because I have some transferred over to me from somebody that's out on maternity leave. But I'm finding that it's very doable. With the notes, the treatment plans, and just being present with the client. I'm enjoying myself. This is what I was here for. And I have my shirt on. It's okay to feel all the feelings.
Look at you. Look at you. So this was June?
Yes, this year.
So did your income change?
Income, yes, it did change, but I'm still at the beginning stages of a LAC. So I understood, I did the research that you have to calculate your benefits too, when you're calculating your income. So I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna do my due diligence, and then when we get to the $100 an hour, you won't be able to tell me nothing.
When you take insurance and they pay you $250 an hour.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
that'll be
Yep,
great.
yep, yep,
Right
yep.
now, I see my boss, the CEO, he's getting all that money because, they show you the
Yeah.
rates that they charge. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yikes, how much of that am I
Absolutely.
getting? Not much.
Absolutely. But you will,
Yeah.
you will. And again, remember, this is not a predictor test of whether you're a good counselor or not, but it's a predictor test of your income.
Yeah.
Your income changes greatly, and it may not be overnight, but I promise you, the next 5 years, your life will change immensely with your income. It'll be so different.
I'm
So very
excited.
different. You will. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Had one client tell me she went back to work the next day, and they increased her income by $14,000 in a day.
Nice.
So I usually say between 5 and 10. That's what I usually hear within the next year. That's what it means. But definitely. Ramnisha, you have been sitting there so patiently. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
You
Good.
passed your test recently.
Yes, I just took it last Saturday.
Yes. I'm not allowed to check the emails. My staff says I messed them up. So but I see, I look at them, but I can't really respond to them. But I saw your email. Woo, woo.
Yes. So excited. I had so much anxiety. The anxiety that this test brought me is insane. Like I had anxiety studying. During the test, I would just kept praying, like, God, please just let me pass. I literally ran out of time. Like the last few narratives, I had to look at the questions and just answer the questions and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. But I passed. I was like, thank God. I cannot do that again.
I'm sorry. Are you one and done?
Yes, one and done. One and done. I took the 5-letter exam, so yep, I'm one and done.
So did you think you were passing?
No, like in my head, I was like, I need accommodations next time. I had already settled with the fact that I failed. I was like, I will do accommodations next time, would not take it without accommodations. And I recommend anyone to take it, get accommodations, because I literally did not have enough time. I don't know what happened, but time just went by so fast. But yeah, I passed. Yeah, I was so excited. So I almost passed out in the hallway.
How was the person? Did they turn the paper over and not smile?
Yes, he had the poker face, nothing. I said, yeah, I failed. I knew I failed. Like, no smile, no nothing. The paper was turned over. So I'm like, oh gosh, I just felt it in my stomach. I was like, yeah, I failed. Then I flipped it over and I just saw pass. I was like, oh, I didn't even care about the score. I just saw pass. I was like, okay, okay. For my first time, not too bad, not too bad. But I had anticipated to not take it so long. I've been a registered intern for 3 years now, and it's just I was just scared to take it. I was like, I can't do. I'm not a good test taker. I just a lot of self-doubt.
Past tense.
Past tense.
I was not a good test taker.
I was not a good test taker. I was like, look at me. I'm so happy. Everyone is so happy for me. I'm just happy to be done. I have 6 more hours of supervision left, and then I'll be licensed. I'll be able to submit my
What
application.
state are you in?
Florida.
Florida. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
So how'd you find us?
Maybe in some groups. I'm in so many different groups with testing, but I think I found I just did a lot of research and yeah, so I think someone recommended you from a group. I don't remember exactly who, but someone recommended, was like, oh, try out the Pam, she's really good. I'm like, okay. It's like, why not?
We really get most of our recommendations from past clients. That's really how we grow.
Yeah.
And I'm very there's lots of scammers out there. There are lots of we went through an incident where there was someone that was actually using our logo and using our name, and they had a Cash App, pay us through Cash App, we'll send you material. So I try to be really careful when we advertise. I will say, watch our videos first. Yeah. Because I don't want you to ever think that we're not real. No, we're trying to take your money. We really aren't. We really aren't. Yeah. I just want you to just get a sheet of paper. It's a sheet. That's all I want you to do is get this sheet of paper. I'd like to open up my head and pour everything I know into everybody. I swear, if it was possible, I would just like just just pour it in. I just pour it in. I'm proud of you. Okay, unknown. I ask you to change your name. I don't remember your name. Sitting with the beautiful black art. Oh, you're muted. So keep talking.
Okay. Can you hear me?
There we go. Yes. What's your? I don't remember your name. I'm sorry.
It's Corlisa.
Corlisa. Oh yes. So you're my social worker.
Yes.
Girl. What?
Yeah, I was wondering if I got invited to the wrong class.
No, I just don't have a lot of social workers. I just don't have a lot that we tutor because there's 17,000 other tutors out there. The NCE doesn't have a lot. Corlisa, girl, you tutored with Talisha?
Sherry.
Sherry. Oh,
Yes.
very good. So
I got your carbon copy.
The goal is that I want to own a McDonald's, right? I want all of my tutors to teach the same way I teach, but bring their own personality to it.
And she definitely does. Yeah.
That's all I want. So tell me about your test.
Okay, so you may not remember this because you see so many people. So about a month, maybe a month and a half ago, you asked me what did I get on my exam. So I took it 2 times. So the first time I took it was before I found out about you. And I told you I didn't know. I didn't pass. I didn't know what my scores was because they gave you the sheet and I lost that sheet before I got home. And so all that time, I didn't know what my scores were. And you told me that I should be able to just go on the ASWB website and pull it. Well, I did. I actually failed it by 2 points. And somebody had told me to do the accommodations, and I did that. And I went back and changed answers. So it might be why I failed it. But this time when I took it, don't do that. Don't go back. Don't do anything else. Just go in, take the test. So this time they had divided the test into 2 parts. So I was reading the questions and going through the process, that Sherry and I talked about religiously, follow it meticulously. Can I talk about the format?
Please.
The formatting was different. The first one I took was a lot of vignettes. 90% of it, were paragraphs about Johnny, blah, 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 blah. This one was more just knowledge. You just had to know what the answer was. There were very few, you pretty much just needed to know what that answer was. The sentences were like a one-liner. One-liners. Yeah. And so it was very different. I didn't do the accommodations this time because I didn't want to be tempted to go back and change anything. So the first half, I took my time and I forgot that it wasn't just one test. It was divided into 2 and I ran out of time. And so like they give you this pop-up to tell you how many minutes you have left. And then I panicked. I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna pass. I'm never gonna pass. So at the end, I ran out of time before I was able to finish that one. So then I took a 10-minute break. We couldn't go outside. So I just went and stood in the window because it was very sunny and just kind of let that absorb me. And you have to give yourself that talk. Okay, Lisa, you need to focus. So when I went back in, I still went through the process, but I just kind of kept, track of the time. I knew I didn't finish that first one. So, I had to give myself that speech. You are not coming back here. And so, you go through the initial anxiety where you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do this. And then, just remembering, what Sherry kept telling me, so it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And by the grace, my score actually, well, it said pass when I finished because, they had said that it would be emailed to you. They actually showed it. And so when I finished, it gave me an opportunity. I had about 10 minutes left on the second one. And so it gave me an opportunity to go back and look at some stuff. And I was like, no, you don't. So I clicked out of it. And as soon as I clicked out of it, it asked me, did you want to close? And I was like, yes, I am not going back. But in my head, like mostly everybody else has said, in my head, I was already preparing to take it again because I didn't feel like I had passed it. And then when those 4 little words or 6 came up, passed, I was like, oh my, there was 4. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I passed this test. And the place was really crowded. So I had to put my hand over my mouth. I was just sitting there like, oh my God, I cannot believe I passed this test. And then, of course, as soon as I got out, I sent Sherry a message. I was like, oh my God, I don't think I would ever really have been able to do it without her. So the first time when I came into groups, then when we finished, I was like, okay, I need to study, but I didn't have time. And then life started lifing. So when I came back, I was like, okay, I'm not going to do groups. I just need one-on-one. And when I say Sherry is like a carbon copy of you, so if we come in the group 3 minutes early, she can just be chat, 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 chat. But as soon as that hand turns to 0, she is just all business. And she really held my feet to the fire. When we would meet, her notes was so detailed. I was like, oh my God. And so, sometimes because I work nights, I would text her, in the middle of the night. And I'm like, this person never sleeps. But she would text me right back. And she was like, you're ready. You're ready. And I was like, I think I need to come back, Sherry. And she was like, you're ready, Lisa. You can do this. So she was right. But I don't think I would have been able to pass it without her guidance and her help. She was just so amazing. And because she had this huge expectation, so every week when we met, she had questions for me like, okay, so what is this? What is this? Did you read this? Did you do this? It wasn't like you could just slide through with her. And that's why I chose her because last time she taught, I think, one night for you and shared her story. And so when I said, okay, I'm going to go back, I knew exactly who I needed. And I was right. And I'm so glad that I chose her.
I am so glad. I am so glad. We don't hire people until they pass the exam. I hired her before she passed. She had taken the exam a couple of times, and I knew that she knew her stuff. I knew that she knew it. And it was probably anxiety that was kicking her butt. I knew that she knew it. So we hired her. And we don't do this. We don't do this. You've got to have the credentials. We didn't tell anybody. We hired her before she actually was an LCSW because I knew she knew it. I just knew that she knew it. And she's amazing. She's amazing. I am so glad she's on our team. She's amazing. Yes.
It really is. I owe her so much. I don't think I would.
She takes expensive gifts, just so you know. We're not therapists. Y'all know I talk about my red bottoms. A client bought me a pair. Yes, she did. We take expensive gifts. There's no limit. We're not your therapist. Remember that, Sarah. Okay, you can take expensive gifts.
Yes, honestly, Sarah. Do I send it to Academic World Changers and care of Sarah Bird?
No. So if you email our staff, they will tell you where to send it. Just so you know, okay. So we've got no shame.
Well, the good news is I just found out yesterday that the company that I did my 10-month unpaid internship with, they took my negotiation and I got hired the same day that my state license went through. So I have my license and I got my job that I wanted. So
Very
I'm
cool.
super pumped. So Sarah,
Very
I'll be
cool.
able to send you a gift for Christmas.
We don't have to follow the ACA code of ethics. We are not. Somebody just joined me who's driving, Jocelyn. Oh my gosh, you know my rules. How dare you be driving in my session? No. Does anybody else want to share anything? Any tips? Anything that you want to say to people that will watch this, whether it's 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now, that are struggling?
I have a tip is focusing on the counseling and helping the theorist, because no matter what, when I was reading the question and then I would look at if it was group or anything, like you said, Dr. Pam and Sarah, I saw the buzzword and I'm just like, all right, even though I was kind of unsure, I narrowed it down to 2, but you have that buzzword, and I made sure I clicked the answer that I knew the theorist was or where they were coming from. And I wish that I passed now, but that is something I would tell everybody. Buzzwords, know your theorist, know those words. That helped me so much, because I was also, Dr. Pam, I was horrible at vague questions, and you told me I needed to learn those buzzwords, and Sarah helped me with them too. And buzzwords, just learn those, because that's the biggest part of your test.
It is. Over 100 questions come from there.
Yes.
So in our book, actually, it's the second chapter. It's based on what I think priorities are. The first chapter in our book is Code of Ethics, because I promise you, I know there's about 20 ethics questions, but this license you work so hard to get, if you're unethical, you'll lose it.
Yeah.
You will lose it. You will lose it. You will lose it. That's my personal, you can Google everything else for the rest of your life, but you've got to be ethical. That is so important to me. So that's our first chapter. And then our second chapter in the book is helping relations.
And also stop worrying so much about assessment. Worry about them, but know your vocabulary too. I mean,
what? Are you telling me that math stuff wasn't so hard?
No, this last test, I didn't have like one single problem, which blew my mind, where I had to and probably I didn't before, I just overthought it. But I did my, my bell curve. I did all of that, wrote down everything I could possibly, and I was kind of disappointed. Don't wait a second. I spent all this
you had between 30 and 36 questions in assessment, and between 3 and 5 in research.
Yeah, I had 32.
I don't write the test. I swear. I write for
32.
other companies. I write the LC.
Yeah.
I had 32.
Yeah, I agree with Kelsey and I think I'm sorry for the noise background. The grandkids came through. But I just wanted to say the study material, even when Kelsey was just sharing, is that I believe, and it worked for me, and I know it will work for everybody else, and you probably all can agree to as well, is that if you are following the study regimen that is given to you and the techniques, it's going to help you do the test. I'm so sorry, guys.
I don't hear
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's just you.
Shannon, I also had 32.
Don't beat them on screen, okay? I have to report it. So don't be picking up a shoe, a belt on screen.
How many did you have in counseling and helping relationships?
Those are divided into 2 categories. So the test has to be the same percentage. And the first half and the second half are statistically the same.
I know that's what you said, and that really helped me. And so I needed there were 61 questions on counseling and helping. And I got 41, but the professional counseling.
So that also includes the other section, which is the skills, counseling skills.
Oh, I got 38 out of 48 on that one.
See, there you go. There you go. There you go.
Which section was that?
There you go. So in general, we really focus on those helping relations. whether it's in a family, whether it's in a group, knowing that reflection is about feelings. Paraphrasing is how you got through grad school. You didn't get caught in the plagiarism app, right? Knowing attending, it looks at your the whole person's body, the way they look, the way that their body language. When what's coming out of my mouth doesn't match my body, you get to confront me. But all of those things are things that you do all day, every day. You do. You're a great therapist. I just gave you the words. I just gave you the words of what you do already. I just gave you the words. I am so thankful. Go ahead.
Human growth and development, that's like theories too, like theorists.
But you only had it between 12 and 16.
I had 17.
Ah, okay.
But I got 12 out of 17.
That means you know what stage of Erickson you're in.
I had 17 too. And I got the same mark, 12 out of 17.
I feel like we had the same test.
Probably did.
Because you had a 91 to pat and I needed a 91 too.
So you might have had the same test, but each state gets to set their score. So remember, if you take the NBCC, the national endorsement, then that's set by the nation. But states get to set their own passing rate. In general, in the South, there are lower passing rates. Louisiana, Texas is pretty high. Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, Georgia.
So you're saying 91
South
is
Carolina.
low?
No, I'm just saying they get to decide their passing rates.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. They get to decide their passing rates.
Mhm.
So every state that gets to decide, unless you're taking the NBCC, which is the national exam.
That's what I
for
took.
social workers. Okay, if you took the NBCC, then that exam is set. The test score is set by everybody. You're normed. That's the normed reference. Okay. So ipsatively means it only matters what I scored, right?
Yes.
Did y'all know that word before?
Not till you.
So honestly, you increase your vocabulary. You had to pass this test. You really had to.
I still have my closed caption on my TV.
The good job. I swear to you, you'll always increase your vocabulary. IQ is based on vocabulary.
Yeah.
Knowing big words. I taught someone today and the word was peruse. Peruse means to look over. Next time you send out a cover letter, you're going to add that. Thank you for perusing my resume because you sound smart. Okay. So use the big words. Use the big words. Don't see yourself any different than any other profession. A doctor, a lawyer, a dentist. Don't you dare see yourself less than. We are a profession. We are a profession. We're good at what we do. I think a lot of us, especially when I was new, I felt intimidated by other professions. The doctor would say something and I wouldn't question him. I am good at what I do. I know my theory. So he comes from a different place than I do, but I know my stuff. So realize you're excellent in your field. And I think what I said to all of you, I hope in the beginning, is what makes you a better social worker, a better clinician, a better therapist is time and experience and really good supervision. That's it. That's really it. That's really it. But don't doubt your skills. Fake it till you make it. Do some first order changes, right? Pretend. So when you get to the second order, you know your stuff. You know it's a real change. Use the vocabulary that you know. Please don't ever stop learning. Don't ever stop learning. Keep learning. And not just because they make you get CEUs, but just keep your vocabulary. You have a master's degree and you're licensed. You want to sound smart. And that just really comes from having a very large vocabulary. Okay. Can I let you go, guys? I cannot thank you. I'm going to be very transparent. It's been a long week. It's been a very long week. I'll be very transparent. And I don't care if you espouse my political beliefs or not. I don't really care. I work in North Georgia. I work with mainly white male professors.
Are we still
Going
recording,
to
Dr.
work.
Pam?
We are. I will put this
Oh,
out there. I do not mind. I do not mind. I'm retiring. I care less. But it's been hard. The Charlie Kirk, I don't think anybody should die. I don't think anybody should die. Nobody gets to die. But to pretend like he was a hero hurts. It hurts to my core. It hurts
For
so
many
bad.
people. Yeah, for many
And
people.
I have to acknowledge that. I have to acknowledge that. And no one gets the right to die. No
Yeah,
one deserves to
that's
die.
true.
Nobody does. Nobody. And you don't have to agree with me, but to pretend like this man was a hero when he said that women got their job, Black women got their jobs because of DEI. I'm qualified. I'm
Yeah,
qualified to get a job. I have everything it takes.
yeah.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts to my core. I've had a lot of clients I've worked with this week that we've processed that. I went to this amazing luncheon this week, and in the beginning of the luncheon, she said, "Let's bow our heads and take a minute of silence for things that have happened this week." I work in the South. I work in a red state, and I wanted to get up and be like Jesus and throw the tables and get all the money changers out of the temple. I did. I just wanted to do, but because I can't do that, not yet at least. It's been a hard week. It's been a really, really hard week. And to be honest with you, I did not feel like celebrating with you guys tonight. I didn't. I wanted to swallow in my self-pity and talk about how much I hate where I live. I live in a majority white community. And it's hard. It's hard. It's very hard. It's been a really rough time for me. And you probably see it on my Facebook also. One of my former clients decided that she was going to tutor, and that's against our policy. You cannot tutor. You cannot own your own business. You cannot tutor with us for 2 years. We put that in policy for a reason.
Yeah, we signed it in. We signed a
Yes, you
contract.
did.
with
Yes,
Dr.
you
Pam.
did. Yes, you did. You can work for me, but you can't open your own business with all the information I gave you. That's not an option. That's not an option. So I've had a really, really rough time. And I always say to you, I'm going to out myself before anybody else outs me. I'm going to be upfront and be transparent. I'm going to be out. So I've had a really rough week. And all week, I have thought I didn't want to do this today. I didn't feel like celebrating. I didn't. I just really didn't.
I'm so
But
glad
thank
you
all.
did,
Yes,
because
thank you for
you
sharing.
changed, you
Thank you.
helped us with this test, but you changed. I'm listening to everyone, and we all have our personal journey, even if it's spiritual or natural, but you made a difference and an impact in our lives as individuals and in our career. So this is not, by void or by option. I'm so thankful and grateful, so thank you again, Dr. Pam.
And I will say what I always say, it's my pleasure. At the end of the day, I have to answer to a higher power. I'm a good teacher. I don't know how you pay. I don't know how you got on my schedule. Lord knows, don't ask me about some stuff. I'm gonna email my staff because I don't know how to I don't know how that happens. I don't care. I just want to share knowledge. I don't want this stupid sheet of paper to stop you from what God's called you to do. That's really the core of my business. That's the core of it. You have a calling on your life. And Jeremiah says, in your mother's womb, you knew that. And you may not believe in my version of scripture. That's okay. I'm not trying to convert you. I ain't a Jehovah's Witness. I'm not trying to say you got to come to my side. Okay. So, but I just want you to know that you have a calling on your life. You do. Not everybody's made for this field. Not everybody is capable of being non-judgmental. Right? Carl Rogers, people tell us stuff that sometimes makes our skin crawl. If it hasn't happened yet, it will. But I'm also capable of saying, thank you for sharing. Thank you for trusting your process with me. And I'm so thankful to my Heavenly Father that he gave me the arena to speak, that he allowed me to build this business. And I promise you, we make lots of money now. I'm not going to lie. We make lots of money. In 3 years, our goal is to be $1 million company. I'm not going to lie. We do well. But that wasn't why I started it. I do consultation with people who are starting their own businesses. And I tell you, follow your heart. Don't ever start a business to make money. Follow your heart. Follow the gifting God made you. If you walk out that gifting, Scripture says the world will make room for you. Follow what you were supposed to do. Do it, and you would do it for free. Do it. That's what you want. And that is your calling in life. And do it. Do it. And the world will make room for you. Be very good at what you do. Work on being very good at what you do, and the money will come. I thank you for trusting me. I realize I don't look like the old guard. I'm not an old white man. I understand that. I understand
Thank
that.
God.
I'm just me. I'm gonna be me. I'm 60. I'll be 60 in about a month. But I'm okay with being me. And I wasn't always okay with that. I really wasn't. I like all of you, I've been through my stuff. And I'm very thankful for my stuff. You can't have a message without a mess. So I'm very thankful for my stuff. And I'm very thankful that you chose me. You trusted me. And I really appreciate that. I can't tell you enough how much that means to me, that you trusted us, because we don't look like everybody else. My staff is representative of everybody. I try to make sure that we have someone that meets your personality. My staff is very diverse. We like black, white, red, green, blue. We like everybody on the LGBTIA community. I want my staff to be as universal as possible. And if you get a coach that you don't like, it's okay. We got another one that you might like. We don't take it personal. We really don't. Find someone that you like. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And thank you for making my day today, because it was a rough day. It was a really rough day. But you reminded me that I am walking out God's path. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I needed that today. I really did.
Thank you, Dr. Pam.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.